and resources for the teaching. So we all are academician, and we all are understanding the importance of the tools for the teaching, which can create a significant impact on the learners, right? So it is our core responsibility and duties to provide important tools which can helpful to the learners to understand the things in a proper and appropriate manner. And that's why the topic for today's day for the faculty development program is ICT tools and resources for the teaching. So let's begin. The objectives of higher educations are considering into two parts. First is primary objectives. So primary objectives are we can consider the core parameters where the higher education institute has to focus, such as the employability, increasing earning potentials of the students, advancing their knowledge and wisdom, improving their research exposure and the experimentation, right? So if we consider these parameters, so I think these are the core aspects of each of the stream, or each of the area where the different educational lines, and you can say that whether you are in engineering management, whether you are in nursing or something, but everywhere this is the important parameter that you should provide the tools, modern tools, and they can be competent into the market so that the maximum employment can be generated, and they should not be isolated or outdated with the current scenario into the market, right? Because we are not considering in today's scenario that we are only fighting in terms of the national scenario, because in the global technological era we have to provide the level of education up to that mark that they can be a global employee, or we can say they can be a global students rather than having their own institute students, right? And to do that we have to connect with the world, and that can be possible with the help of information and communication technological tools, that is called ICT tools and resources, that we need to include in the education system. And we cannot restrict our education system to only the bookish knowledge. So we must ensure this particular things. Secondary objectives, by considering the primary objectives that we have defined as far as the use of ICT tools and resources in the teaching. So we have to achieve the spiritual and mental growth of these students, right? So we have to make them, ready for the market, ready for the future, so they can attend any of the opportunities, any of the challenges as and when they are facing into their, corporate life. So we have to ensure that we have to engage them into the unknown situations. We have to give certain tasks to them in whatever field they are making their future, whether it is management, commerce, engineering, nursing, whatever it may be, right? So facilitating better lifestyle and developing scientific outlook. So we have to force them to have their thinking on a scientific and technological, terms, so that they can understand and they can justify the things into the better manner. So new dimensions of higher education. So if we have to consider the dimension of higher education in teaching, so we can consider that branding, openness, and academic quality, right? We all are having our brochures of the institution where we are creating, a certain benchmarking point that our institute is having. So this is called branding, openness, and academic quality. So branding means, the name and fame that our institute has earned by putting the efforts from the previous one, right? So we have to promote our brand in such a way that we can get the maximum potentiality from the market. And not only promoting the brand will work for us, at the same time we need to ensure that whatever brand or promises that we have make into the market, we actually deliver those promises into the market as far as our brand is concerned. So educational brand is often equated to an institution academic reputations, right? So we have to, maintain our brand name. We have to develop our brand name, and the development of brand name is a very time taking process, and at the same time very hardworking things. We have to put a lot of efforts in terms of to bring the innovativeness, openness, technological updations into the operations or teachings that we are making in our educational institute. So there are two major components that we need to focus. That is the openness in terms of education is basically a terminology of sharing the knowledge, right? We have to very open in terms of sharing the knowledge, sharing the data, sharing the things, sharing the tools, sharing the resources with each other, so that the maximum outcome can be generated by combining the various populations across, or we can say the nearest to us in terms of the various students, even the corporates, because in today's scenario, not only education is important, but at the same time, we also need to see the employability of the knowledge that we are providing. So we must ensure that whatever, students we are developing into the market, they should have some employability in the market. So this is also we need to ensure that apart from that, to develop employability, competitiveness among the students. So apart from our classroom teaching, there are various other options which is available in the market. So these options are very useful, and we almost all are aware about these things. Many of us are using such tools, right, where we have certain materials, video lectures, sometimes we are sometimes we are going with the open lectures, open tools. Even sometimes we are going for the open courses, and we are appearing for the exam for the certificate courses, where we are learning certain new things which has been not covered, during our schooling time or something. Like if we talk about research, right? So there are various other tools which are available into the market as far as the research is concerned. And if I'm not wrong, so on a day-to-day basis, there are various other softwares which has been introduced into the market, for which we are not aware about it. So, and we have not learned during our schooling time, right? So to get the knowledge about this particular things, and to make ourselves updated, and to make ourselves competitiveness in the market, we have to go with this kind of open sources, open courses, which are available through the various platforms. So this is what it is has been said, that we have to use open educational resources, open access sources, open source and massive open online courses, that is called MOOC. And we all know that as far as MOOC courses are concerned, so government of India is taking various initiatives, and not only government of India, but there are other private academic institution in today's scenario that they are also providing their own portals or their own platforms with the paid version, where we have to pay certain amount of charges, and you have been have access of very nice courses to develop yourself. So if I have to talk about MOOC courses in terms of the government side, so government is providing a Swayam MOOC courses where you can apply yourself, and you can enroll yourself for the various courses in which you are interested. And by appearing for the exams, you will be certified for the clearing of those courses. So clearing is not at all important, but these materials are going to last for you for a lifetime. So you can have the access of those material as and when it is required, and this material you can use for the students as well once you are aware about such things into the market. So this is very important. uh, Fine. So open online courses are regarded as a form of openness. Fine. uh, the three dimensions of ICT tools. So if I have to talk about the dimensions, just a second. Okay. Fine. So three dimensions of ICT tools that has been considered to be an important part. So first is the creativity, second one is competitiveness, and the third one is collaboration. Right. So these three dimensions are, considered to be an important part, because we are dealing with the various stakeholders into the market as far as the teaching part is concerned. So we have to provide a creativity in terms of the student teaching into the classroom. So creativity in terms of we should not restrict our teaching with the monotonous tools and techniques that we were using in the previous one. But we need to adopt various tools and techniques and, the various modern technological upgradation that has been come out in the market on a timely basis. So this is our core responsibility as a part of the teachers. Competitiveness, as I have already discussed, that we have to develop the youth of this nation into certain manner where they can provide some qualitative output to the corporates that they are looking for into the market, right? So whenever, suppose I'm in the management faculty, right? So I, as a management faculty, always needs to see that whatever things that we are teaching to the students into the classroom, we must ensure that they should provide some competitiveness, or they should provide certain outputs to the corporate what they are looking for. So we have to listening them with the corporate, that we need to ask to the corporate what are their expectations into the market, and accordingly we need to modify, we need to rebuild, redevelop our teaching skills and pedagogy, so that students can have the better competitiveness into the market, which can help them to generate the better employment in the future. So we as a teacher must ensure, and this thing is possible with the use of information and communication technological tools and techniques that we are incorporating in our teaching. Third one is the collaboration. Uh, so the collaboration is concerned. So collaboration means, as I've already discussed, so we need to have the collaboration with the corporates. Apart from that, we are seeing that many of the private universities in the today's scenario, or if I have to say, that many of the B schools into the market are having their good collaboration in terms of the international universities. They are signing the MOUs with the international universities, right? So this kind of collaborations are required, because let's say if we as an Indian, so we have to make the collaboration with certain universities which are more developed countries than our India. So many of time we are finding that we have the collaboration with certain universities in USA, UK, Germany, France, right? Why it is required? Because they are more advanced country, and to see the future requirement, we have to collaborate with them. So whatever the innovation that has been taking place in terms of information and communication tools that has been used in the academics or teaching field, so we have to tie up with them. And many of times we are sending our students to that particular schools, like summer school programs. Many of the B schools are running this kind of program, so where the students are having more connections with the advanced life of the education, where they are not finding in our own country, so and they can incorporate those things into the future, right? So these are the motives for which ICT tools are required in terms of the teaching field. So now we are talking about the various ICT tools. The many of them are aware about such tools, and many of them for it is a new also. So YouTube's, I hope you all are learning. So YouTube's is a very important tool as far as the applications of the concept or parameters or software applications are concerned. So if something you are not knowing, you just type the things on the YouTube's. Many of the video suggestions are available, and by looking at those videos, you can learn this and you can apply this as far as your teaching is concerned in your higher educational institutes. Wikipedia. Wikipedia is providing, detailed articles about the things which you are looking for. So it is a knowledge sharing tools for us as far as the ICT tools are concerned. Google Groups. So Google are providing in many ways, or I can say in a 360-degree ways, to share the ICT tools, because whenever we have a certain thoughts in mind, that I want to search this particular points, I want to search this particular point. So I don't think so. You have other thoughts rather than the Google in the first part, right? So Google is very important tools and techniques for all of us. So I hope you all are using that particular thing, Google Drive, to save your own data, to save your own files, important documents, right? Google Calendar, Gmail. I hope you all are using sites, groups. So if you have Google groups, so you can have it here, and you can save your contact details also in the Google Drive. So these all facilities are available as a part of ICT tools. So we have to stay, teach our students. Apart from this Google, parameters, there are certain other parameters also, like You can create a Google Classroom where you can take the assignments of the students, Google test, the Google test, Google quiz, where you can take the quiz or test to the students, and immediately you can have the assignment of the marks, and within a fraction of seconds students will have the results in their own hands, right? So Google Forms are also there, Google Quiz are also there. So these are the tools which you can use as a part of ICT tools in the today's modern scenario. And this is very important and which is required also, because if I'm not wrong, before 1 years, we were suffering from the COVID-19 pandemic, where the physical classroom was not possible. So at that time, it was a challenge for the educational institute how to run the educations among the students, because students are the very critical part as far as the safety measurement is concerned for the government. So government was not allowing only the education sector to run, right? It was the sector which was open at the last, right? All other sectors was allowed, but government was very sensitized towards, the safety of the students. So at that time, there was a challenge for every education institute, that how to run the various courses, how to run various educational programs. So at that time, who was the backbone to run the educational part? So this is nothing but the ICT tools and resources that we have used into the teaching methods, right? So they have played a significant role, I can say, in teaching and learning pedagogy, right? And I hope you all are agree with that particular things, right? Google Docs, many of you have used Google Docs. So Google Docs are very important tool, right? Google Docs are working like a Microsoft Word, in a offline mode. But many of you are aware about that. All the facilities, all the parameters are available in the Google Docs that you have in Microsoft Word. But apart from that, there is one important feature in Google Docs. If you have are aware about this, you can speak the things and you can write the words on the Google Docs, right? So if I need to show you the demo, right? So Google Docs is working like, right? So this is Google Docs. So if you go into Google Docs and if you take this, right? So if you want to write, you can, you can speak and you can write, right? So these are the facilities which is available in Google Docs, right? So if you go into tools, uh, right, and if you go into do and voice typing, if you apply this type voice typing, so and then you can click on here, click to speak. Hello all, right? So I speak. Hello all, how are you? Fine, thank you. So there are certain articles, which has been restricted by the license, and if you want to go ahead with the, taking the content of that article, so you can go ahead like this. See, I'm speaking, and the things are going to be typed. I hope it is. I hope it is useful to you. So you don't have to put any efforts, and you just speaks on your microphone, and the things are going to be typed in your document. I hope it is useful. Okay. Then after you have a certain blocks, right? So you can use certain blocks for the various topics, or for the various concept that we have it, right? So blocks are providing very important information for the topic or things that you are going to look out. So many experts are sharing their views and opinions on the blogs on various topics. So you can always go and check the blogs, and you can have the informations on the blogs, right? Apart from that, Google Maps is always useful to search the location as and when you are going for, so this is very important tools nowadays, so I will not discuss in detail. Then apart from that, you have a slide share option. So slide share options are very important tools in terms of the education academics, right? So any of the content for which you are looking for the ready-made slides, or you want certain contents to add on into your slides which you don't know, right? So SlideShare is an important tools, and SlideShare, you have a various, academicians knowledge which has been shared on the SlideShare. So many of a time it has been happen that many of the things for the content which you are looking for, you don't know, and something extra things that you are finding out on SlideShare, right? So SlideShare is also teaching you how to make a slides, right, and how to make different points into the slides. So SlideShare is also the one of the important tools for all of us as a part of ICT tools. So what is the role of ICT tools? So the ICT tools is a ray of hope in the pandemic, right? So ICT tools are a ray of hope in the pandemic, right? Because as we have already discussed, that there was a challenge for the academic institute, how to run the academics, how to run the education, right? Many of us faculties of the college or university, but if you think about the students who are on the pre-primary or primary section, so the parents was very concerned about the safety of the students at the time of pandemic. So they were not sending this child to the schools or colleges. So at that time, how to run the education or how to run the courses at that particular point of time. So this was a challenge. So at this point of time, so ICT tool has played a significant. So ICT tool has played a significant role at this particular point of time. So ICT has become an integral part of today's teaching learning process, as face-to-face interaction among teachers and students was bit difficult, right? So at the time of pandemic, ICT, the only way of hope to connect, the parents and the students for the teaching and learning process, right? So these tools are very important for all of us, and countries over the were using ICT tools for teaching and learning process for facilitating information dissemination, so information pass on and communication in all the areas of teaching learning process, right? So not only India, but all the country across the globe were using the ICT tools for teaching learning process, right? For content sharing, for the presentation, for the quiz, for the test, for the learning process, right? So ICT tools has played a significant role in this particular manner, and how the benefits of effective utilization of ICT tools has been received by both the parties, that is, from the academic point of view side and from the student point of view side. So ICT tools, the first important part is it motivates the students. Why they motivate the students? Because students don't have to sit into the physical classroom, right? But they are free birds. They can use the ICT tools as per their own requirement. They can search the content for which they are stuck up, right? They have the flexibility of teaching. They have the flexibility of content sharing. So these are the things which are available for the students. They can learn from the videos, they can learn from the pictures, right? So these are the always useful tools of learning and teaching as far as the academics is concerned. So yes, they motivate the students. Second part is make sessions more attentive and interesting, right? So right now I'm sharing the content of ICT tools benefit. So you can see the pictures on your screen. So this makes my purpose is very clear, how the students are happy, how the childs are happy as far as their learnings on online, or if they're sitting on the computers and having the access of various tools and various softwares, or various other parameters where they can search and they can enhance their own knowledge. So yes, so it makes more sessions more attentive and interesting. So during the session, if they have any problems or difficulties, so they don't have to ask to the faculties, or they don't have to wait for let their lectures is going to over. So during side by side, they can open the Google and search the things for which they have been stuck up. Right. Then the third point is re-energize teachers' motivation. Right. Why ICT tools are going to re-energize the motivation of teachers? Because teachers also have the flexibility to work. They don't have to go to the monotonous working hours, but as and when their lectures are there, they can go and start their lectures. Apart from that, by teaching, they can save their times for the transportations, right? They can share their knowledge to the multiple audience at one point of time, to right. So in one classroom, they can connect 100 students, right? So in a bulk of students, the knowledge sharing is going to possible. Fourth one is learn new skills and technology, right? So before COVID-19, I don't think so anybody was aware about what is Zoom. 2019, if I'm talking about, right? What is Zoom? What is Google Meet? What is Microsoft Teams? Right? But the moment the pandemic has arrived and we have been forced to use certain tools for the teaching learning process, then we came to know, yes, these are the tools which can make our learning and teaching more efficient and more impactful. So we have been forced to adopt those technological changes, and today is the situation, right, that our FDP is also going online. Right. So before 2019, it was a very rare possibility, but now see, knowledge sharing is quite possible, right? So then fifth point is help students to understand the concept early and clearly, right? So it has been always said that two humans are having their arguments. Many of our times we have a certain situation when we are going into certain conference or something where we are also, we as a participants in the conference, we are also the expert of the research, and the person who is a session chair is also the expert of the session research, right? So many a time when we have the heated argument among the certain parts, so if we have a certain query, so we can always go into the Google and type the things which we are looking for. So the content and the things are easily verifiable, right? So it makes our concept clear as and when we are facing certain issues, right? So within a fraction of second, it is possible to enhance our knowledge, to enrich our knowledge, and to clarify the errors that we have already made in the future. And this is possible through the ICT tools, right? The integration of ICTs in teaching in general and teacher education is particular is the need of the day, right? So in today's scenario, neither the students nor the teachers can survive or sustain into the market without the use of ICT tools, right? So both the parties compulsory needs to adopt these tools and technology as far as their teaching and learning process is concerned, right? Because it is one of the integral part of the teaching learning process. So, and that's why it has been said, the use of ICT can make a substantial changes, both of teaching and training, mainly in 2 days, right? So two ways are, first is the rich representation of information change learners' perception and understanding of the context, right? So many of time, see, we all know that everyone has their own knowledge and potential in the market. So before use of ICT tools, by sitting into Gujarat right now, I was not, I have never think about that I should meet the person who is sitting into the Maharashtra, Rajasthan, or UP, right? But through the use of ICT tools, now forget about the other states of the country, but any part of the world, I can connect with the person, right? And have the interaction with that person, have the discussion on the topic, have the content sharing of the topic, and have the knowledge gaining things from the person. And finally, we are into this faculty development program where we are having the knowledge sharing from each other, right? So this is possible through the effective utilization of information and communication technology into the teaching learning process. And that's why it has been said, it is not only required from the student point of view, but it is also required from the faculty's point of view. And secondly, the vast distribution and easy access to information can change relationship between the teachers and taught, right? So ICTs can also provide powerful support for educational innovation, right? So we all know that how important in today's scenario as far as the innovation part is concerned in terms of the research activities, right? In management institutions, we are going for the research projects from the students part also, and the management is also insisting to the faculties to involve more into the research context, because if we have a certain knowledge of research, then only we can pass on these things to the students, right? If we as a teachers are available with the various softwares of research, then only we can download those things to our students, right? Because in the beginning of the presentation, as I have already said, that we have to move ahead with the market, the reason for moving ahead into the market with the latest technological innovations and uh, the things which has come out is because the ultimate goal of the teaching learning process through the ICT tools is having the employability into the market, right? And employability is connected with both the parties, whether it is teachers or students, right? So teachers also needs to sustain into the market with a good education institute, and at the same time the student should have the employability skills for which they can find their employment by their own, right, during the process of the campus placements, right? So neither of the companies are ignoring the use of ICT tools nowadays. All are looking for the eminent candidates latest technological use and importance. The few comments on ICT tools during the pandemic. So the first comment from ICT tools in the school government of the UK, that ICT is used as a tool for whole school improvement during the critical time, right? So ICT, why today's generation is using ICT tools? Because ICT tool has breached down all the boundaries among the learner and the teachers, right? So, and it has played an important role for the teaching learning process during the pandemic time, for which we were facing certain issues. Then second part is a hugely powerful medium of transforming teaching and learning and make it unstoppable, right? So, bhale hi, whatever the waves which was going on into the India and in the global level, but if we remember those times, then there is an uninterrupted process of teaching and learning with the use of ICT tools in higher education, right? Students were learning, the classes was online, exams was online, right? Many a times we have seen that many of the colleges and universities has taken their exams through the mobile phones with the introductions of various software for conducting the online exams, and the results were also available in a quick mode, right? So ICT tool has played a significant role and unstoppable role as far as the COVID-19 was concerned, and that's why the people are intent to use more of the ICT tools nowadays because it makes our work easy and effective. That's why we all are intent to use those particular tools. And about the Mayo Demonstration School of Science and Technology in USA, they have commented, what is critical about the success of Mayo is not the use of technology, right? So they are talking about their own self, that what is the success of the Mayo School of Science and Technology is not because of technology, but the expectations of children and educators to work collaboratively in this pandemic situation, right? So in the earlier slide, I have mentioned three things about it, right? Out of that, one part was collaborativeness, right? So collaborativeness means it should be teacher and student, both the centric should be there, both are agree on that, and this has been done through the use of ICT tools, right? Both were learning, both were enjoying their own jobs, their own roles at a part of teaching learning process in the education system, right? So then the about the Apple Classroom of Tomorrow's project. So broader implications of schooling become apparent. Meaningful use of technology in schools, we realized during this difficult time, and goes far beyond just dropping technology into the classroom, right? So after the COVID-19 pandemic, what happens? Earlier, we were just showing the students what is technology. But after COVID-19, what happens? We have actually implemented those technology into day-to-day life, right? So now after COVID-19, we have seen the application of ICT tools into the education system, right? So we always say that knowledge is not a power, application of knowledge is power. The same thing has happened after the COVID-19, that before the COVID-19, people and the school authorities were just showing what are the tools are available, and this, right? But otherwise, the physical classroom was in the operation. But after COVID-19, the scenario has been changed, and definitely we all agree on this point of time. So by the time our sites were reporting new kinds of outcomes for students, right, and we had witnessed what amount to a transformation of their learning cultures, right? So from the physical classroom, the student has turned up into online classrooms where they have the access of multiple materials, things, knowledge sharing, examples, everything was there. So for example, teachers' instructional beliefs and practices underwent an evaluation, and we believe the improvement in students' competencies to be a result of teachers' personal appropriation of the technology, right? So this Apple Classroom is saying that whatever the improvement that has been happened into the students is not because of the ICT tools only, or it's not because of the only the efforts of the teachers, but it is a joint efforts of ICT tools and the teachers' appropriateness or the knowledge that they are sharing to the students according to the requirements of the market and the corporates, right? So why we need ICT in higher education? So the simple reason is the face of classroom has changed now after COVID-19, right? And we cannot deny that. So the teachers should prepare to keep up the technology utility in the classroom, right? Now, for us, it is a challenge, right? Right now, I am sharing, this session on ICT tools. So for me, it is also the challenge uh, that I should not share anything which is not appropriate, which is wrong, which is not up to the mark, right? So ICT is not only an essential tools for teachers in their day-to-day work, but it also offers them the opportunity for their own professional development, right? So as I said earlier, it was if you want to go for attend any seminar, conferences, or faculty development program, then either you can present into your B schools or job place, and either you have to go for attainment. But now it has been removed. Even by sitting at your home, you can have the access of FTP after 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Right? So uh, you know uh, the sky is a boundary for us with the use of ICT tools, right? So how efficiently as a teacher you are utilizing your time to upgrade your knowledge, to upgrade your profile, and how importantly you are passing those upgradation of knowledge to the students for the betterment of the society and the better employment generation for them into the future, right? So in conventional teaching, most of the time is consumed for the input output and less time for the process. So we are talking about conventional classroom, that is the classroom which was happening before COVID-19, that is a physical classroom. So it was just an input and output, right? We are just writing the concept and we are asking the answers to the students. But real-time application part was missing before the use of ICT tools, and now it has been possible due to the ICT tools that real applications of the things which is required into the market is possible. So, but in teaching with the ICT, the input and output time is reduced, right? So, the duration of the process time has been reduced, right? Let's suppose for the physical classroom, students have to come, will see it, they will settle down, right? So this, the operational time has been reduced as far as the ICT classrooms are concerned. When the process time is increased, the time of students' activities, discussion, correlation with the other subjects, brainstorming, and learning process has increased, right? So when the unnecessary times has been decreased, so what has increased? So the effectiveness of the students' activity, the quantum of students' activity, the knowledge sharing things, that is discussion among each other with the faculties as well, correlation with other subjects, right? So how to correlate the things with the other subject, right? Previously we were just learning maths only, maths, science only, science, but now the correlation among the things are also possible. Brainstorming activities has also increased, right, with the use of various media, that is pictures, videos, and all these things, and learning, right? So ICT tools, blessing in disguise. So we have taken two perspective. So first is from the student's perspective. So the student's perspective is designed the mixed model of textbooks and technology in this pandemic, which is best suitable for the tech-friendly and modernized new generation, evolved as a platform for new learning to sow in them seeds of creativity, right? So ICT tool gives access to students to do any course at any point of time by connecting themselves with the best of faculties, right? So if you want to go for any IM or any other B schools courses, so you can enroll online and you have the access of the software and uh, right. So now you and your knowledge is the only things which is concerned. So how effectively you want to go for it, so it's up to you with the use of ICT tools, and nobody can predict what you have done. This is the most important benefits of ICT tools, right? So it is a cost friendly, and hence irrespective of the financial condition, they can access a lot of content and material, right? So previously, if I want to go and attend, certain FDP at various IIMs, so I have to go there, I have to enroll there, right? And when the FDP is going to attend, I have to go for to attainment of certain FDPs or certain PGDM courses or something. But now I have seen that with the introduction of National Educational Policy 2020, many of the courses are now going to started online, right? So this is what the transformation has been taken place, right? So now the MBA degrees is also going to online, right? With the institute which are having their NAC accreditation A grade or A plus grade, right? So this is possible. So from teachers' perspective, so ICT tools are empowering them and helping them even in the time of epidemic to connect with fellow teachers virtually. So if faculty wants to do their own meetings, so within a fraction of seconds they can connect with each other, right, and have the meetings with each other and they discuss the important parameters for the teaching learning process with the students, and it is quite possible. So it fills the broader gap between those who have access to variety of content in difficult language and there's those who do not, hence fulfilling the purpose of reaching the hearts of the students is instead of mind, right? So with the use of ICT tools, we have reached to the heart of the students rather than mind, right? Because everybody has the rights to ask the questions and they can have the sometimes it happens that many of the students are introvert and they don't prefer to ask into the physical classroom in front of the audience, right? But in ICT tool classes, students don't have such kind of feelings and they can raise their question as and when they feel, and it has been attended by the teachers very efficiently. ICT tools have the power to make teachers reach an unlimited number of students, which is not possible in the physical classroom, right? As I told, the physical classroom has certain boundaries like 60 number of students, 70 number of students, right? So which has been removed in the virtual classroom with the use of ICT tools. So especially in rural context where dropout rates are higher and students do not attend schools on a regular basis. So ICT tools has helped them that they don't have to come to the places and they can have the internet access at their home and they can connect the classroom and have the knowledge sharing activities with them. So this is possible with the use of ICT tools, right? जैसे कि we are using the words digitalized classroom, so digitalize gram, right? Digitalized village. This is also the movement that has been led by the government of India. So modern tools of ICT in teaching learning process. So as we have discussed, Swayam, which has been led by the government of India for the faculties and for the students to access the various courses in various streams, management, commerce, physical education, right? In whatever sense you want to do, you can go ahead with that. Another part is Coursera. So Coursera is an international courses where the international university is already enrolled over here and they are providing their courses with good amount of fees, right? So you can have the access and you can have the enrollment in the Coursera as well. So Harvard University is also offering, so they have their own software for which you have to download in your mobile phone and do register yourself and do pick up the course in which you are interested and you can go ahead. Byju's. So Byju's is for the school teaching where the various materials for various standards for various boards are available, right? So once you are having the access of Byju's, although it is very costly nowadays, but yes, you can, if you can utilize in efficient way, so definitely you will get the more benefit on this. Then same way as I told you, the good B schools in the India. So I am Bangalore's are also providing the various courses like retail management, online certificate courses and all this. So you can go and access and have the access of this. So definitely you can have the benefit. So Google is also providing certified courses. So by having the registration on the Google, you can also have the access of the various courses. Like I have mentioned one of the courses that is free digital marketing course, right? So you can also have the certification from the Google with the enrollment in the courses. IIT Madras is also providing degrees and diploma courses, as I have already mentioned. So you can have the access of this and you can enhance your knowledge, and the same thing you can download to the students. So yes, it's a two-way process, ICT. In a one way, we are taking the knowledge from various areas where we can enrich our knowledge, and the same thing we are pass on to the students, where the students have the maximum benefit in terms of their knowledge gaining and to have the more employability into the market. So online classroom teaching tools, I hope in the pandemic you all have used those tools. So I'll just go ahead with that. One of the Zoom, right? Another one is Classing, GoToMeeting, Microsoft Team, Google Meet, on which we all are connected right now. So, and we are attending FTP. So Schoolology and Big Blue Button. So these are the various tools through which you can connect your online classes. Everyone has their own features, own limitations, and own parameters. So by considering those parameters, you can use any of the medium which are comfortable to you, right? Online quiz platforms. So many of us, we are already using Google Form quiz, right? So Google Form quiz we are also utilizing for the survey also. So that survey form you can also convert into quiz form also. Uh, so where you can take the student test also, where you can collect the data for your own research also. So many of for many things you can utilize the same form, by having the add-on features into Google Forms. Think Exam is one of the examination software which you can utilize to take the exams for the students and quickly providing the results after the completion of the exams. FlexiQuiz is one of the tool. Testmos.com is one of the tools. So Testmos.com are having their own templates, their own test, bifurcations of marks, everything's are there. So if you can go ahead, you will get the idea. Then Profos quiz maker is one of the important parameter where you can take the quiz of the students and provide the marks to the students. Other common tools, so content learning materials like links from various sources. So you can utilize the various links from the sources. So learning also started by government by using ICT tools on Doordarshan, right? So if you remember, during the COVID-19 time, where we were not aware about the online classes also, so government has taken initiative for primary students like one first standard, second standard, third standard, to have their classes on online mode, right? So it has been possible through the Doordarshan radio programs where learning was possible with the fixed timetable, right? So government has also released the timetable for these things, right? So students can start their TV and connect with these classes with the Doordarshan, right? So creation of various online learning platforms for the students like Diksha, Let's Learn English. So these are the also various initiatives which has been taken by the government for the benefit of the students and to the society, where the education was stopped, and at this time, so this kind of ICT tools has used to the students, to have the unstoppable learnings during the pandemic. So ICT resources through which we can provide the education to the students. So right, so this is basically in a common terms if I have to use, and this is hardware kind of things. So hardware and software is a combination through which you can provide the education to the student. So yes, the monitor on the screen, right? Various software, right? Presentation tools, Prezi, that is presentation software, and laptop if you have a laptop. So these are the resources to which you can have the access of the things which we have discussed in the earlier slide. Google Form, various examination tools, right? You can have the access of various courses through Swayam, Coursera, IIM, IIT Madras, and so on. So this kind of things is possible when you have your own laptop, mouse, keyboards, and internet access that you need to connect. So future role of a teacher. So if I need to define the future role of the teachers by considering the use of ICT and to understanding the importance of the ICT tools for the modern generation development of the students. So teachers see their role evolving around character building and teaching morals and ethics to students who are spending time in front of computers. So computers will teach them all the things, right? But on the same side, we need to understand that the moral character, moral, ethical things that we need to teach to the students during the examination or classroom. So these things we need to teach to the students. Otherwise, the purpose of teaching and learning through the ICT tool is not going to suffice, right? So ICT tool will do everything in terms of the knowledge sharing, but the moral and ethics through which the student has to learn various concepts, so that things we need to develop among the students, right? Then only the purpose of the use of ICT tools in the education system is going to survive. The tech generation who is graduating now will acquire powerful decision making position in approximately 7 years, right? So nowadays the things has been started. Now the results we will utilize after certain years of time, right? We are already in the process of 2 3 years, right? So we have to wait for more than few years. And then after we will see the results of implementation of ICT tools in the teaching learning process. And I hope it is going to be more fruitful by considering the moral and ethical things that student has to apply as far as the teaching learning process are concerned. So their knowledge and abilities about using technology will influence educational direction and result in major innovation, right? So teachers who are expert in certain fields can also offer specific discipline over the internet to numerous students in various countries, right? So this is the future roadmap for ICT infrastructure. So India must focus on enhancing network connectivity issues. There are certain villages where the network issues are there. So that has been resolved for the benefit of the rural students. And telecom sector needs to add additional mobile towers and implement the right way policy announced in 2016. There are certain areas in the urban area also where the connectivity issues are there. So they have to be resolved if the teaching has been transferred from physical to ICT ways, right? BharatNet project must be completed on high priority before 2020, right? So still it is in the mode. So government needs to work little bit fast in this particular process. And Mission of Digital India is already running by the government of India. So many a times we have seen in many government universities that government is coming out with offering a tablet to the graduate students for having the access of the various tools and techniques for the teaching learning process through the ICT tools. So this is also going on. So Ministry of Telecom, especially TRI, should come forward and work on providing student friendly data packs, right? So for students, TRI has to announce certain data packs which is very less costly for the students as far as the internet connectivity and access are concerned. So India also needs to focus on developing ICT friendly content which can be easily available on phone and accessible without internet connections, right? So just like YouTube videos, we can save it in offline mode. So the contents of the various standards and various things should be also available on the without having internet connectivity, that is available on the phones by having the access of various softwares. So making our government schools as ICT resourceful schools on priority, right? So many of the government schools where there are no laptop or no internet things are available. So government needs to see on this parameter and make government schools more efficient to have the powerful educations of the poor and rural person can be enhanced. The corona crisis has taught us that we need to focus on learning of children in the long run, right? So we have to work on the long run parameter rather than short run. For the ICT tools, can we play a very significant role, right? It is certain that ICT impact education in multiple ways, and only some of which can be foreseen at the present. Still, we have seen only few impact of ICT tools. There are other impact that we need to wait for certain time, as I have already discussed, that we will see the impact of ICT education after 7 to 8 years. It is good that our National Education Policy 2020 also talks about eliminating the digital divide and expanding ICT-based educational initiatives. And we all are hopeful for the better future of India as far as the teaching is concerned with the ICT use. So, any questions if you have it? So the session is open for all.